Let's go ahead and get started on some simple 1-point perspective shapes. Grab a ruler or a straight edge of some sort and draw a line on your paper. Also on that part, put a dot, which is going to be your vanishing point, the point where all lines converge back to. In the upper space and lower space, start drawing some shapes. Try to come up with 5 shapes. To make this easy, spread out your shapes throughout the paper so that they're not overlapping and that they're spread out from each other. Okay, so now that we've got some of our shapes drawn in pencil, let's go ahead and take a Sharpie and start to outline over top of all of these pencil shapes. It'll make it really stand out so that everybody can see what I'm doing. I want you also to outline over top of your designs that you made, the shapes that you made to your paper. Okay, so let's do the next step. On the corners of all of your shapes, connect the points to the vanishing point, that little dot that's on the horizon line. So the edges of each point of my star goes to the vanishing point. Once those lines go back to the vanishing point, go on to your next shape. You'll notice that I have a square. From each point of the square, go back to the vanishing point. Same with the rectangle. Now you might notice that it's not every single point because the edges that are on the opposite side of your vanishing point would not be seen. They would go through the object. For objects like the oval and the heart, each of these are a little bit more challenging. You're going to be looking for the edge of the heart to go to the vanishing point. So as you watch this, the edge of the heart, I'll line up that straight edge to the edge of the heart and connect it to the vanishing point. Same with the circle. Find the edge of the circle, connect that to the vanishing point. The edge of this side of the circle, connect it to the vanishing point. All right, now it looks like each of my shapes go back into the distance. Please feel free to go back and watch that if it doesn't make sense to you. It's located on your Google Classroom. Go ahead and watch it again if you need to. Now I'm going to move into the coloring part. I hope this really makes sense on how each of these images look like they're 3D. Our name. I put the horizon line at the top with a vanishing point. You don't have to do it that way. You could have your vanishing point horizon line at the bottom with your name on top. It totally doesn't matter. I just wanted to make sure that I had enough room for my name and plenty of space. So once I've stick lettered the letters of my name, now I'm going to go around each letter in a block-like fashion so that it takes those letters and starts turning them into block-like shapes. So you'll notice that I went around each letter like a block or a big bubble around each stick letter. I'm going to outline the block letter in black so that you don't really see too much of the stick letter inside. So now that you have all of that done, we're going to go ahead and grab our straight edge again and start having all of the edge points of the letters go back to that vanishing point. So with my straight edge, I'm going to use my pencil to line up the points of each part of the letter to the back of the vanishing point. Each one of these lines will go to each part of the edge of each letter. So when I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and start making these letters look like cubes, look like forms. This is more of an optional step. I'm not super interested. If you want to do that step, go ahead and make it look like a three-dimensional letter. But as long as you do this part, the part that goes from each corner of the letter to the vanishing point to the back, that's what I'm most concerned about. Each letter will have lines that go back to the vanishing point on every time it does a corner or every time it does a bend in the letter. So the corner of my N goes back to the vanishing point every time that line bent to make that into a block. There we go. Now moving into the C, it almost reminds me of when we did the shapes of like the hearts or the circles. Find the edge of the C and go back to the vanishing point. And lastly, we'll go ahead and move into our Y. Again, this part that you're watching right now is an optional step. All I'm doing is thinking about the line that I see and extending it further back into the distance to the lines that go to the vanishing point. All right, now that I've got lines that go back to the vanishing point, I'll be ready to move on to the next step. Go ahead and show this part to Mrs. Foxen real quick and double check that all of your letters go back to the vanishing point correctly. Now that our designs go back to the vanishing point, get out your markers, get out your colored pencils and crayons, and start coloring. You can make them all the same color. You can make varieties of different things into your project as well. But let's go on to coloring those letters. I like to take this up a notch, and now that you've got your name put on there, let's go ahead and start drawing some objects that remind us of you. So try to choose 3 items that might signify things that you're interested in, hobbies, activities, things that you like to do during your free time. Sketch it out in pencil, outline in Sharpie, and then move on into coloring your designs as well. Thanks, everybody.